Hello. How are we all doing today? Let's get the HUD up. And the minimap, please. And that. So we're going to start off by tabbing, because of course we are. I'm going to tap to this and hope that it goes to a logical waypoint. Oh good lord, it's actually gone to the one I wanted to. Miracles will never cease. Okay. So now we get to do some bale stacking. Why is my webcam pointed so very low today? There we go. Hello, Michael, Frizzy Frozzy, Louis, Thomas. Or Tom XAS LT. Stew, Little Cash Money, and Eddie's car. How am I? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've just finished having some food and doing I just got out of bed kind of things. So yeah, this is the second. Where is the beard? Here. The beard is here. This is the second load of straw, isn't it? Yeah. So this will be all the straw we are going to need for the cows. Believe it or not. Oh yeah, the dice is still low on fuel. I forgot that was a thing. I feel like sending me memes on Discord. Sure, I guess. Your memes are terrible, but sure. $25 watt. Memes, maybe. 25 degrees outside? Bales! Oh. I think it works out as 28. Just a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 28, yeah, 28 bales. 3 too many? Yeah, but I'll be bringing 28 down to the pigs as well. So we'll actually be storing 56 bales in total. And we should then be good for the winter. What's my favorite map? Probably Cobra, in all honesty. Like, Cobra just feels like home to me. I get the distinct feeling things will change once, you know, Shamrock Valley's out. And I get my hands on that. I just get this distinct feeling that Shamrock Valley is going to become my favorite because it's an Irish map, and I'm obviously going to be biased more towards Ireland than the UK, being, you know, living here and being from here. You've turned off autocorrect, probably for the best after last night, Michael. At least you gave me and Landy a good laugh. I'd nearly whipped myself. On TeamSpeak when I saw that. And you did as well get a bit of an insight into the kind of jokes we have on TeamSpeak. And the reason that it's private. because, yeah, we found that absolutely hilarious. What is the challenge? The challenge is, basically, I've limited what I can do in the game. This was a bad idea, wasn't it? So, I'm using the smallest equipment I could find, which is borderline useless on this map. I've limited the number of fields I can own, and I've got a €300,000 loan that I have to pay back before I can buy anything new and replace anything. It was the worst possible typo. I'll just put it that way. What did I think of the Fent on Sims video today? That's the Fent that he showed me last night, and we were talking about it on TeamSpeak with him after he finished recording, because he was recording pretty much all day yesterday. He was going to stream today, but he changed his mind at about 2 o'clock, or shortly thereafter. I'm currently at work. What's up with the round bales? There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just using them because they're the cheapest bales I can make. One thing I will say for sure, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. I didn't expect Daggerwin's Discord to be so much fun to chat in, because I was kind of expecting it to be just constant fanboys and oh my god, Daggerwin senpai, look at me, you know, notice me senpai kind of stuff. Isn't he leaving again tomorrow? No, he changed his mind. He's actually leaving today. It's a lot of fun. No, Eddie, you definitely should not change your YouTube name to that, because nobody will ever be able to pronounce it. I thought the one... I should say, and I should apologize to somebody. To the person who got really, really triggered by the fact that I made a joke about Daggerwin's real name being Dagger Winnington, and you fell for it. I do apologize that you're apparently so gullible. Yeah, I have no comment other than that, I guess. Because somebody got really annoyed that Dagger's real name isn't Dagger Winnington. I mean, it didn't help my case for the joke that Dagger did jump on it and decide, yes, that is a good fake name. And just went with the joke. But, I mean, come on. My fake names are always terrible. My wit is endless. I truly am a comedian. Thought I was doing no. Hang on. You thought this was Lone Oak? The blatantly British farm. Whoop, back it up. There we go, just shove that in like that. You're working tired. I mean, I've just woken up. Like, I got out of bed like less than an hour ago. You have no excuse. For people who thought that, you know, that I'm always busy and always working. Yes, at night until like 6 AM, and then I go to bed and sleep until like 3 PM. Welly, oopla. I actually did something that I intended to for once. These are going to be fun to give to the cows, by the way. What time is it here? 5:19 PM. I will say though, I apparently fell asleep watching YouTube videos because I woke up to... I woke up this morning with my phone feeling really warm. I say it morning, afternoon. With my phone feeling really warm under my arm and a Scottish man talking. So apparently, not only did I fall asleep watching YouTube videos, but I had managed to derp hand my way to watching Big Clive. There we go. Septipus has realized I'm live. Very good. $12:20 AM Little Cash Money is 20 minutes after midnight. You mean 12:20 PM. Post Meridian. Oh, delicious coffee. That tastes really sweet today for some reason. Chris was very good. I told you! Midnight Snack of Champions, Michael. Also the reason that I'm fat. Apparently Eddie Land is in the same time zone as reality. Who knew? Back over to the farm you go, and we need to start picking up bales for the pigs now. Once we get 2 trailer loads over to the pigs, because we can fit 14 bales onto this trailer, once we get 2 trailer loads over to the pigs, then we can basically start loading up the trailer to just sell straw bales and get a bit of money in. I don't think there's much of a point right now in storing the bales anywhere to sell at a better time. I think the best bet for me right now is just to sell them straight out of the field. Just bring them down to the sell point and sell them off. And once we get that done, I am possibly going to cheat in a second plow and get a second tractor on the plowing, because the 2-furrow plow is... I might even just swap back to the other plow I was using before, because the plow I'm using right now, the 2-furrow, is just way too small. That Deutz has been going now for about 8 hours in that field. Possibly as long as 10 through various streams. What map is this? This is the West Coast by BulletBill Ricky. It's a map that is in no way suited to this challenge, which is exactly why I designed the challenge for this map. Shamrock Valley is going to testing this week. Happy days, I know. It's one step closer to it coming out. It's not going to Giants testing though, James. I should point that out, because people do tend to get confused. Shamrock Valley is going to Frontier testing. which means that it's still a few weeks from Giants testing, possibly as long as a month, month and a half. And the Frontier testing is going to find every little problem within that map and nuke it. Because Frontier testers are astonishingly good at what they do. And if, like, I another month away, so at least I would say James. But if ever you're like asked to, I don't know how you'd even go about this. If ever you're asked to like watch the Frontier test team do something, it is stunning. Watching them just find every little tiny problem with a map. And like some of the things they do are hilariously silly. Like I know one of the guys has a custom modded 50-meter cultivator and a challenger capable of going 50 kilometers an hour while cultivating, and that's for testing field boundaries. And you know that's the kind of stuff that you do when you're doing serious testing, is you do completely unrealistic things. Keep playing Cobra, so still loving it. Cobra is one of the best maps ever made, I swear. So they do it all in-game testing. Frontier guys will do a combination of in-game and occasionally GE when they think something's wrong, and just want to make sure. But for the most part, it is all in-game. Very rarely GE, because it's very... Like, the stuff that can be tested in GE, Oxy and BulletBill will pretty much have that covered from the get-go. But one thing that people maybe don't realize is testing and playing the map are two very different things. So in Frontier testing the map, there's no real playing of it going on. It's just, we'll say, testing silage pits is basically just make a butt ton of silage regardless of how not fun it is. I just started getting tractors on the roof. That was more me messing about and seeing if that was even possible. Plus, I did promise BulletBill when I saw the shop the very first time that I would get the big butt on top of it. On Lone Oak. So I had to keep that promise. Cobra's getting a lot of love today. In a way, it's a shame that the current version of Cobra is the last version for, you know, as we know it. But in another way, it's very good that BulletBill has decided that the best thing for 19 is to just start Cobra again. How many testers are in Frontier? It depends on how many want to test a map, basically. Because it's all kind of volunteer, you know, they're in the Frontier team, and part of the Frontier test team, which I guess technically I'm part of somehow. I don't know how, but I am. And BulletBill and Oxygen would just basically ask for volunteers for any given map. And it depends on, you know, what's going on in their real lives and whatever, if they volunteer or not. Can't wait for the new version of FS19. I'm looking forward to that so much. A better version of my favorite map is always welcome. They're like, myself and Landy are both kind of agreed the Cobra is one of the greatest maps because we both have good memories of it. We both have had a big channel, I think Landy had a big channel milestone happen on Cobra, as did I. So it's kind of close to our hearts for that reason. And you kind of get an emotional attachment to maps when something cool happens on them. Be interesting to see how much it changes. It'll be interesting to see how much it stays the same. because BulletBill's been talking to me about it, and it seems like there's going to be a lot changing kind of under the hood. Even some of the looks will be different. Pure skill, he says, throwing the bale. That would have been really cool if the bale didn't just pop off the end of the spike. That would have looked like really cool and professional, but no, the bale decided to pop off the end of the spike for some reason. Probably because I was turning too quickly. We'll be doing the borders like Oakfield. I think that's kind of now just a standard between Oxy and Bill, is that's the way map borders are going to be from now on. The Dolix D80 is shouting at me now that it needs to be refueled. I probably should get a fuel bowser of some description, shouldn't I? Right. Let's strap these bales down. That'll do. They don't need much strapping because we're going to be bringing them into the yard. Where there are actually more bales ready to go. So the pigs will be getting slightly less straw, but the same number of bales. Hello, Jose. Hello, Dal. Hey, James D. Your romantic love Cobra and Thornton. Thornton is amazing as well. I do like Thornton. I do think, however, that it's good that Oxy's getting kind of, I don't want to say getting rid of, but like letting some of his older maps go away in FS19. Just because maps don't tend to age well when there's major graphical changes. I just want to zip over into this field because I do remember there being a few bales, and I just want to make sure that they have been collected. They have. Fantastic. I've heard of Thorhill Farm, Spring Hill, Thornton and Kendall all shoved into one. I was never a fan of Spring Hill, I just found it immensely boring. Like, I know that's just personal preference, but I never found Spring Hill all that interesting. Which is why I don't particularly, like, care for it. I love NI modding and the stuff they did in terms of vehicles and machinery, because that was stuff that I really wanted to use. But in terms of, like, Spring Hill, that was, I don't know, just, I guess a bit too plain for me. There was nothing really that grabbed me about that map. All the converts are so watered down. Even the original Spring Hill for FS13, I just, it never really sat right. Can I put this bale on even though there's straps? Apparently so. That's actually kind of convenient, actually. It's actually really convenient that you can just strap down the individual bales. If I'd known that when I was doing round bale stacking before, I wouldn't have as many issues with round bales. Also, I need to move the trailer forward just a skosh, because I just realized it's a bit too far back. How did those bales get stacked like that? Panic stacking with an auto stacker, which is why they're all in a shed. Because it had rained and the bales were being destroyed, and I do need all of the bales that I can get, which meant that I had to basically ignore the rules, briefly. It's also why the auto stacker trailer was in the shed. After the rain, I mean, I didn't have much of a choice there, because it was either get the bales out of the field and have like 400 liters left in some of them, or cheat and auto stack and actually have enough bales to see the animals through the winter and get some manure going. And I chose the get some manure going option because that's going to be more useful in the long term. I cheated again. Well, yeah, but considering I've cheated a grand total of, I think, twice. One of which was due to unforeseen weather that I didn't really think about it. What have you missed in the last 8 months? Many streams, Joe. Many, many streams. There you go. Landy should be streaming after me tonight, by the way, at about 7 o'clock. In a way, I'm glad Sim's not streaming, because I do like having 2-hour streams. Think I'll ever get back to positive money? I 100% will once I start selling off the crops. That's when the positive money rule is going to come into effect, so I'll have to get into positive money by then. Or through that. Uh-oh. Okay, you bales can get strapped down real quick because this is going to be fun and probably is going to ping the trailer a bit. That did ping the trailer actually quite a lot, so I'm glad that I strapped the bales down. I'm just going to nudge the trailer back into being straight here. There we go. What'd you miss? Bale stacking today is all you've been missing. That's pretty much the plan for the stream, is just stack bales and hopefully get the Deutz refueled. This is on 4% fuel now. But it is almost finished, that field, so we might just be able to get the Deutz refueled today. Without needing to resort to shoving it to the fuel point. Because if the Deutz does run out of fuel to the point where it can't run, that's basically what my plan is just shove it and hope for the best. Hello, Ford. I haven't seen West Coast in a long time. You haven't been on this channel in a long time then. I've been doing a lot of West Coast. A lot of a lot of Lone Oak too. We've got the two extremes of vehicles on the maps at the moment. I got Lone Oak with some of the biggest stuff that I could find, that was realistic at least, and then West Coast with the smallest stuff I could find. Except for the potato harvester, which, yeah, that was just down to, that was just a sanity thing that I swapped that for the cheap version, or the much bigger Grimmett-Hectron. Because that was just a bad idea. There we go. Your laptop doesn't like Lone Oak? That means your laptop is effectively a potato then, because anything can run Lone Oak. What mod site is the loadout from? Giant's Mod Hub. It costs £5 and it's from MadXJS's Modern Classics DLC, which you should definitely buy. It's got some fantastic equipment, including a really nice New Holland harvester. And that music's terrible. Nope. But you should definitely buy the Modern Classics DLC if you're into older equipment. And if you want to support Matt, it's a really good way of doing so, because he does get a percentage of the profits and sales from that. You like me as a friend? Well, thank you, Nathaniel. The funny thing is, as much as I'm doing bale stacking on this map, as much as I plan on doing it, I actually hate bale stacking. It might sound weird, you know, I've basically got a map where I'm planning a lot of bale stacking. I actually hate doing it because it's... Especially with round bales, it just so often ends up with bales everywhere. And just headaches. So glad you got your tractor home from 6 months of restoration. Very nice. I'm so glad my birthday's next month. Is it like a month away today, actually? What date is it today? 23rd. Oh, it's a month away tomorrow. And I'll be going go-karting around my birthday at the end of next month, so I will be taking a completely random day off. That I don't necessarily need to, but that's going to be one that I want to. Because, yeah, go-karting, yo. It just needs to be done. For a guy who's into motorsport like me, go-karting is like the ultimate thing to do as a birthday thing. Oh, you git of a bale! Come on, flip. Do the... Sit down. There we go. We still need to get these over to the pigs even once we get this trailer stacked up. Is go-karting fun? Absolutely. It's a bit scary at first, because there's the initial realization that, oh crap, I'm in control of a vehicle. And if you're, I guess, not used to driving, it can be very scary, because you very quickly need to learn brakes and accelerator and steering angles. But after a couple of minutes, you just kind of forget that, and you get into the correct mindset, which is, go fast, where's my braking point? And if it's wet, it's even more fun, because you get to drift! It's a good excuse to do some drifting. Brother did it down in Galway. It is very much worth doing. It's just a lot of fun, and the ones that we tend to use, there's such a thing as gears. Not in the go-karts that we use, no. They're fixed gear, top out about 75 k's on like a dry day, apparently. On a wet day, you're topping out at 50. But you don't notice that you're not actually going, you know, 100 miles an hour in fifth gear. You notice that you're going quickly because you're sat on the ground, basically, and you're basically like sat like this, with your legs kind of straight out in front of you. You're leaning back, but it's super comfortable. just amazingly comfortable. $75Ks? Yeah, they are that quick. You'd be topping out about, like when I went last week, it was wet, so we had to brake for turn 1 a bit, and the top speed I hit was 47 point something. Yuri's good kart says was really bad. I've only been to Watergrass Hill. I know Rose Green, which is nearer to me, used to have go-karts, but they actually shut down due to noise complaints. Hang on a second, the Deutz is nearly finished. We'll be able to refuel the Deutz today. That is fantastic news. But first, we need to trek over to the pigs and give them... Well, I say give them the bales. Drop off the bales into the shed, because that is our plan for right now. If you are enjoying the stream, we're, what, 37 minutes in because I started late, because I woke up late. If you're enjoying the stream, hit the like button, please, people of the world. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You're more than welcome to subscribe. It's not just Insanity Challenge we do here. I've been spamming Lone Oak recently. I've been really enjoying playing that, so I figured I'd go for a bit of a change today. Go back to the small stuff, drive on the correct side of the road, and play about on the Insanity Challenge. Fuel is still 4% in the Deutz, so we are good. You downloaded a map and they took it down. Was that off the Giants mod hub, bucko? Because I've heard of a map being taken off the mod hub for something, and I want to know the name of that map. So if it was a map, could you PM me the name? Yes, could you PM me the name on Discord, bucko? Because myself and Landy have been trying to figure out what map it was. Or you could just say it here, PGR Swinlow, okay. I'll forget it by the time that it comes around to, no I won't. Give me your phone. I'm going to take a phone picture of chat, so that I can remember the name of the map. Come on, focus on the chat, you get. Come on. Oh, it already took the picture. I know why it got taken down, bucko. Just be aware that it was taken down for some inappropriate stuff that is in the map. The testing team actually managed to miss some inappropriate stuff, so that's why the map got bopped. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Gotta tab out again to do this, and back into the game. There's a lot of graffiti. Yeah, there was... I think it might be one of the graffitis. Something got missed, and the map got removed from the mod hub as a result. Ford, I'll be honest, if you're having problems with FS17, you're not going to be able to play FS19. They are increasing the minimum required specs again, because it's going to be... FS19, from what Sim has been telling me, is the closest to a AAA game that Farm Sim has ever got. And it may actually cross the border into me considering it a AAA farming game. You can't delete it now. Well, you can delete it. You can put it on like a Google Drive or something, bucko. If you got a Google Drive, if you got a Gmail account, just put it on your Google Drive. That way it's not just taking up space on your computer. Unless you're on console, in which case, yeah, you probably can't delete it. You maybe dust your PC off and see if she'll run it. If it's an old computer, I don't know, Ford. I'll be honest. This is the sheep. This is not the pigs. What map is this? This is the West Coast. Is Rose Green closed? For karting, last I heard, yes. For actual racing around the oval, mostly. They've had legal problems and they're being forced to limit stuff because there's a very rich man who lives next door who is annoyed by noises. Nicholas Amiot, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. She's an office computer. She will not run FS19 then, Ford. I will tell you that straight away. Let's go back to the wheel. This means I get to move my arms less. Wow, we got a lurking mod, I see. The most dangerous kind of mod. Also the best kind. With a new office computer, also probably not, you're better off getting like a cheap gaming computer to run Farm Sim. That's my favourite tractor, Massey 135. I absolutely love the Massey 135. I don't use it too much because it's borderline useless in Farm Sim, but I do love it. Hello, you boy Adam. My phone's just gone off. Why? Is that something important? Oh, it was Faye. Faye, I'm streaming, you get. Come on up. I have that very same drive, Matt. It's like I want a better PC. This thing's overbuilt as is. You know, the 980 is still powerful. I want a 1080. It's literally the only thing that I want to swap out is the 980 for 1080. And I know I don't need to. And I can't afford to, so that's kind of a nice little advantage. There is not being able to afford things stops you from buying unnecessary new pieces of equipment. Can my chair do this? I'm not sure what you're asking there, Cash Money. Going for an upgrade on your card soon? I need to check my applying for jobs email and see if there's anything in there. You're getting a 1050 Ti. That's, I think, slightly worse, if not the same, as my 980. Because I'm not running the Ti version. Got a Model Farmer 990. It's PewDiePie meme. Oh, when he fell off his chair, yeah. My chair can do this. Wait. can drive like a gangster. Oh yeah. I don't know how people drive like this. It's very uncomfortable. Is 980 not a 1070? Yes, but once you TI up when Nvidia TI up the cards, they get significantly better. I don't know how people can drive like way back like this. It's not comfortable. Looking at the CPU. I was watching a Twitch stream of a flight sim guy the other night, and his PC was insane. It had an i9 overclocked to 5 gigahertz and 3 Titans. Now the reason he had an i9 overclocked to 5 gigahertz and 3 Titans was to run 3 multiple feet wide screens. And the reason he has 3 multiple feet wide screens is because he's also got a $2 million full motion flight simulator based around a Boeing 737. In his house. Just gonna let that sit there for a second. He has a Boeing 737 flight simulator. The same thing that airlines use in his house. And it's insured for $2.5 million US. Kind of tempted to buy 32.9 monitor, but it's 1080. Well, yeah, at that point you might as well just get two 1080p 16.9s. It's the same thing. There's nothing wrong with 1080, by the way, because both my monitors are oh, good lord, the pigs need cleaning. Both my monitors are 1080, so. He gets good subs and donations. No, he's actually quite a small Twitch streamer pain. The reason he has this insane PC and Boeing 737 flight simulator is, he's a stockbroker. He is a millionaire stockbroker. Now open. Without bringing a tractor in my house. I don't think it'd fit. So this should just be the 2 top bales there. Released? Or not? I'm guessing it's yep, there's that strap as well. If you're on 100 FPS 1080p in your granddad's Windows 98, who needs a $2 million simulator? Pilots? Because he is also a pilot. So, I mean, there is a reason for him to have it. It's just kind of insane, the cost. Plus, it's what happens when rich people get hobbies, is they do rich people things to it. Like buying a $2 million flight simulator. You can fit a tractor in your lounge, trouble's getting in here. I'll be honest, like, my room is probably the same size as most tractors at this point. I could maybe fit a Fergie in. Didn't realize he was... Yeah, that's the thing that I forgot to mention, is he is an in real life pilot. Deutz is still only on 4% fuel. That Deutz is actually surprisingly fuel efficient. I can't wait to see the work hours on it though. Because I'm pretty sure all that it's done is plow that one field. He's a pilot, an amateur, an amateur pilot. He doesn't like fly the 737. I think he flies the Cessna in real life. But yes, he is a pilot, a stockbroker, and a Twitch streamer. But it's really cool, like, looking at the full motion rig. I need to bring the bucket for this thing over at some point. Or maybe, just maybe, I should bring the... Yeah. I've got a plan. It's not a very good one, but I've got a plan. Did I hear FS19 is coming out in November? The 20th of November is the current release date, yes. I've heard a lot of stuff for FS19 that I don't know if it's even public information, so I'm kind of very careful what I say and what I don't say about FS19. Because obviously I talk to Sim a lot, and he has the inside scoop on certain things from FarmCon and Giants themselves. I want to tab over to... Yeah, I'm going to tab over to the main yard. I know I shouldn't be tabbing, but I'm going to. I'll get the Guldner. Do I reckon there will be day one mods? That's hard to say, Bucko, honestly. From what I've been hearing, there's a very good chance there will not be. So you use the Guldner to clean up the pigs. And we're going to use this bucket that is facing in the wrong direction that I've got to fix first. You know I'm Lizardan's brother. Oh, does that mean I've got another fake imaginary brother now? It's already on pre-order. I know it's already on pre-order, but that doesn't mean it definitely 100% will not get delayed. I think the odds of it getting delayed are small, but it's still something to bear in mind that there is a very small chance of that happening. Because I mean, there's a lot of new moving parts going into FarmSim, and there's a very small, but it is there, chance of it being delayed. And I'd prefer to see the game get delayed than the game release a bug-ridden mess. Like, I'll be very blunt and honest there. I'd prefer to see it come out in December than be a Ubisoft game. Well, I'm with you there, Matt. From what I've been hearing, the release date they wanted was actually October, like usual, but they did seemingly delay it already by 3 weeks. But I mean, there is still a small chance that it might get another delay. Just basically to let them ensure the game is as good as it can be. And that's the kind of delay I don't mind. Why does my game look so different? Because it's special. And because I use shaders. There's a lot of people using shaders now. Oxygen David uses them, BulletBill uses them, Lone Wolf / FarmFarm uses them, Simulate uses them, Landy doesn't because he's picky. And there is one problem with shaders, and I'm going to show you guys real quick. Those of you that know what I'm about to do, feel free to prepare. And that is, with Creator Tools, and now those of you that know what I'm about to do will definitely be preparing. With Creator Tools, there's a screenshots mode, which changes the exposure of the game. If you turn on screenshots mode in Creator Tools while using these specific shaders, this happens. Oh, actually, that looks quite good on this map. It looks atrocious on Lone Oak, but it doesn't look quite as nuclear holocausty on this map. It actually looks quite good, I'll be honest. It just turns up the sun to 11. Yeah, this doesn't look anywhere near as bad as it did on Lone Oak. Except the fact that the beach has now become like white hot. Yeah, I have to admit it looks a lot better on the west coast than it did Lone Oak. But it's still just surface of the sun mode, basically. Looks a bit like the summer we've been having. Yeah, it looks like it's just a really hot summer's day. Which is odd because it's 19 degrees air temperature in autumn in the game. In reality, for me right now, it is... hopefully not... Ooh, I've just got another game sent to me on Keymeter. In reality, it is... Turn it back, turn it back before you break something. Let's turn off screenshots mode again. Turned it off. There we go. I'll tell you the weather here right now is not working for some reason. Why are you not working? AccuWeather, please. Has the app crashed? Did I get a job? If I did, I wouldn't be streaming on YouTube. I'd be streaming on Twitch. And well, Pedro's lurking. Hello, Pedro. So here's the current weather here, according to my phone. Thunderstorm forecast for, like, soon, apparently, and it's possible. 22 degrees, feels like 19. 88% humidity. Yes, I knew you were lurking because you waved at me on Facebook as well, you git. Rain starting in 29 minutes. So that's how I get my weather forecasts, as I look at my phone. In real life, not in the game. Do you remember in like FS13 where you actually had to bring up the little PDA and it was just a phone turned on its side like this, and you're like, ah, blip, 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 the weather is... Blame Faye. I always blame Faye. Except for the times you get banned from places for abusing people again. Like, you just don't learn, Pedro. Not allowed to text and drive at the same time. I wasn't texting though, I was looking up the weather. It's too humid here. It was like 28 and 100% yesterday. It's just so muggy. I'm so glad that I've got my little crappy little desk fan. It's actually quite good. I don't know why I called it crappy, it's actually really good. Little Daewoo desk fan. My own very tiny little crappy form of air conditioning. Is it hot and temporary? It's not hot, it's just humid and muggy and horrible. It's just really sticky weather, I don't like it. In fact, it's so sticky that my arm's sticking to my chair. It's not clammy here, it's actually pretty cold. I could deal with pretty cold. I just hate clammy weather, I hate it when it's this muggy. Have I managed to get 40k in debt? Pretty simple, really. You take out a €300,000 loan. You start off with the 15,000 that you start off with on hard mode, and you use Courseplay quite a lot. That tends to like rack up the debt quite quickly. Speed! We'll be using the most useful bucket in the world in a second, so don't worry. We'll be doing some amazing work very shortly once we finally arrive at the pigs. This is, by the way, also the reason that I'm using the load all to cart the bales around. Is most of my tractors are basically around the same speed as it anyway, so it makes more sense to just cart the bales with the load all. How much am I getting from the cows? Not much. I'm not once I start selling crops, Pedro. So this could end very quickly once I start selling crops. Because I've got a certain amount stored and that's it, and I need to save some for pigs. If I sell off like all my crops and then run out of money, yeah, it's game over. That's the challenge over, I lose. And it could happen fairly quickly because I need to get probably about 100,000 together. Now the upside is we do have one more cut of crops to do, or of grass. Do I feed my cows power food? I've only just got the power food together, Irish, but yes, I do. I'm gonna try and keep the animals as fully fed as I can. The pigs will not be fully fed until, if I can get there, the next harvest, because I forgot to grow canola. But we're getting very close to the do or die bit of the that was not the way that emptying this bucket works, but okay, game, I will deal with your weird way of doing it. Could I sell some pigs? No, I have to have a minimum of 10. In fact, I need to double check the animals to make sure that I'm actually meeting my obligations with numbers. If I'm not, I'll just turn on cheat money real quick and get the correct numbers in. Evening, Bill. Because I need to... That is not how that animation should work. Okay. So, animals. Oh dear. 10 sheep, 6 pigs, 7 cows. So I need to turn on cheat money. Get 4 more pigs. And I'm gonna teleport real quick over to the cows. Where's the thingy? There we go. Because I need to have 10 of every animal at all times. And I guess now that rule is going to really take effect. So if I grab... Well, I need to grab the Gildner. Oh yeah, that's duplicated because I'm courseplay. I need to grab this and get it back. You thought no money cheat? I was only money cheating to get the animals back up to the correct number because I haven't been able to feed them properly. Also, that pile of corn is going to grow as time goes on because I have a habit of forgetting that the pigs need corn as well. Or like the food the pigs kick out is corn. Which, comically, is a good way to cheat. Because you could feed the pigs everything but corn and just use the kicked out corn as the corn you need. It's a comical little cheat you can do with pigs. Fergal's Games 3109, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the RainbowDave Madhouse. Hope you enjoy your stay. You could also use I think you could use straw and just give the pigs straw and they'll kick out corn, which is bizarre to say the least, but I think that's the thing that happens. So we need to bring this back to the yard. Actually, let's just park this over here. I've got an idea. I'm going to ban this temporarily because, oh my god, the Deutz is finished? Question mark? I'm gonna call that finished. I think it stopped because it's too low on fuel and actually wants me to refuel it, but I'm not going to just yet. The grass with cows, yeah, you can do that too. Except with seasons in the winter, because the cows just will not take grass, because in seasons, grass doesn't exist in the winter. There we go. The one thing that I am going to do that's kind of, I guess, a bit unrealistic is I'm not going to wash my machinery, because it basically costs money to wash your machinery, and I don't have that money to spare. So we're going to be driving around with filthy, dirty machines constantly. Nightbot is here as our mods, so trying to get around. What was actually said there? Yeah, not a good idea when there's mods about. Let's do this real quick. That, and that, and that. Just driving water. Does that work? Because I mean, I could just park some vehicles in the river for a bit, if that does actually work. Hello, Irish Steve. As opposed to Pale & Sons, who is English Steve. So let's get this lined up like this. And come on, be nice to me. Get into the shed, you git of a camera. No, it doesn't. Okay. See, that's the thing that would logically make sense, so... You know, I was going with... Like, that makes sense as a thing. It might work. That's the final 3 bales. You got timed out in Chris's stream earlier too. Hello, Glengar. How you doing today, dude? Does the water freeze in winter seasons? It can. I think it does on Lone Oak. Like, you can have an ice plane in maps if you really want to, but it's a bit faffy. It doesn't do it on the west coast, that's for sure. And it's not like a default thing that all water will just magically freeze. Seasons needs to be told what water will freeze. Yeah, it just solidifies over the... It did. Hey. What? That... Physics... Missed Chris's MP bailing earlier. I missed like everything that happened today. I woke up like an hour before the stream. Come on. Oh, you absolute git of a bale fork. No, I'm making things worse. Haha. Victory for me. Giant zone tribute user tributes doesn't allow you to turn the collision on or off for the ice plane even though it's supposed to. That's interesting. That's a bit of a fun bug, isn't it? They don't have glitch. Yeah, because the big thing about seasons is they're supposed to. That's a fun bug. Yeah, I can imagine Rackham wasn't very happy. You can almost guarantee that that'll be changed for FS19. Whether Giants know it's getting changed or not is probably a separate matter. But it's getting changed for FS19. Rackin's gonna make sure of that. Oh, poor Yas. So those of you who don't know, because I don't know of any of the interview videos Sin did from FarmCon or anything that anybody did from FarmCon. If Rakin was there in any of them, he's a really nice guy. He is a genuinely really nice guy, and very fun to chat with. He isn't very fond of me because I tend to derail stuff and cause mayhem, but that's, I guess, his own personal preference. They made a script. Ah! On the note of talking about giants, I want to talk about something that happened last night that was really funny that, I guess, kind of involved giants, but didn't actually. Nice stacking? Yes, for once I have done good bale stacking. Proof that I can occasionally be vaguely competent at something. I mean, that is actually neat. Did I go to FarmCon? No, I didn't. I hope to go next year. I hope to like save up and go next year if I can. Like, if I've got a job, it'll be obviously a bit more difficult because I'd have to book time off and stuff like that. But I do hope to go next year, if I can at all. Hello, Rebel County. And Llama King, hello! But I would like to go to FarmCon at some point. Because it looked like Sim and VF had a lot of fun. And yeah, hopefully it'll be a lot easier to get to from the UK and Ireland. Maybe not like closer, but easier to get to. Was the kind of phraseology I'd heard. Why do I smoke? I don't smoke, I vape. And I vape because I'm quitting smoking. Like, simple fact of the matter is I have a... It'll probably be in Germany. FarmCon 2018. But the odds are it'll be in a bit of a more accessible point of Germany than in the middle of nowhere in southern Germany. Less Amsterdam, pretty cheap. You just want an excuse to go to Amsterdam, Bill. You just want an excuse to go to Amsterdam. Follower Q. Good. We've got Q behind us, guys. James Bond is here. He's gonna have all the cool gadgets like a laser watch that shoots pens. For some reason. Wanted to see Amsterdam. I wouldn't mind going to like where I'd love to go is actually Berlin. Berlin, Munich, Nuremberg, even Nürburg. There's a reason I say Nürburg particularly because there's a certain racetrack near there that I want to go to. You've never wanted to see Amsterdam, yeah. But I'd love to go to Nürburg. Primarily because there's a really good visitor attraction near Nürburg that I want to go to as well. And I guess obviously me having a bit of German would make things a bit easier than the time Sim and VF had, because I think they learned 3 words of German. Nürburgring FarmCon. FarmCon at the ring. Instead of winning like tractor rides through the field, you win tractor rides around the Nürburgring. Will I do seasons in this type of challenge at Shamrock Valley? I don't know. There's like a few different ideas I've got knocking around in my head for Shamrock Valley. And I've got kind of starter equipment in my head already. Like I've got starter equipment kind of lined up in my head. But it won't be until I actually look at the map itself that I'll know for 100% what I want to use. But I kind of have a theming in mind. Where is Shamrock Valley set? Where in Ireland would you like it to be set? Because that's where it's set. It's, and I mean this in the best possible way, just looking at the pictures. It's a very generic Irish map. It can be wherever in Ireland you want it to be. You go for, yeah, it would be fantastic. Could you imagine, Bill, like, if we could all manage to get to go, and it ended up with, we'll say, me, VF, Daggerwin, if he somehow managed to get there, or was invited or whatever, Simulate, BulletBill, Oxygen David, who else? MadXJS, just this massive gathering of the UK and Ireland farm sim community. And I guess, as much as I don't want to admit that I'm one of the biggest names, that, you know, all the biggest names, even, you know, Chris the Irish Gamer, just all gathering together for a photo, and just like the UK and Ireland farm sim creators. It'd be hell for Dagon. It really would. Like, I feel so sorry for him with the way his Discord behaves towards him. Forgot you and Faye. Pedro and Faye, but Pedro would call everybody nasty names and get ejected immediately. Plus he works. Yeah, that would be kind of another thing. That would be kind of a negative towards that. Would be that FarmCon tends to be on the summerish time, and I believe he works a summary kind of job. So he might not necessarily get the time off. Did Oxy not say Shamrock Valley was in the south? It may be. I haven't actually checked with them if it's a Republic of Ireland map or not, because that'll influence some stuff that I'll need to look at. Did I say Landy? I think I did. If I didn't, I apologise. What about you? You're an FS17 YouTuber. I mean, yeah. Why not? You don't know what Dagwin does? I think I do. And it's not something I'm gonna say. It's based on the Republic. Okay, so that'll influence a couple of things that I'll be looking at then. Because there are minor differences. Southwest Ireland. Glengar, you just wanted to be County Cork, don't you? Do you ever see train on the west coast? Yes. Quite often. Every, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, 10 to 15 minutes. The train passes through. I've been stuck behind it sometimes at the level crossing. And I never see the train on the west coast. Never. Not once. There is no train on the west coast. If people say there is a train, it is fake news. How convenient is that timing? After that's every 30 minutes. That was really convenient timing then that I hit the 30-minute mark. Bang on talking about the train. But I'm doing very well. There's no way to force the train to spawn, by the way. It's literally just like 30 minutes. It's just like every 30 minutes it'll pass through, and if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. That was just lucky. That was just plain lucky. Like I'm not gonna claim any sort of magic and Irish magic or whatever, leprechaun dust. But yeah. And guys, if you are enjoying the stream, let's aim for Dave learning to speak English at some point this decade. let's aim for 50 likes today. And if you're really enjoying my nonsense and chaos, even though today's stream isn't too chaotic, unlike the other day, when I managed to break the game completely and end up with Lizard claiming to be case, feel free to subscribe as well. We're actually doing some vaguely serious farming today, and I'm kind of surprised that it's not gone horrifically wrong. I'm gonna be honest there. Like spike? I think that's a like spike button. It says like. Hey, it is a like spike button. I totally haven't completely forgotten what my actual Stream Deck commands do. So it's time to load up another trailer with bales. This is going to be the final trailer load of bales that is going to be restacked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. So we'll be selling off 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 5 bales. That's a great sum total of bales to be selling off after all of this work. Is we have 5 spares. We technically have more than 5 spares, but I want to have the cows and pigs have equal numbers of bales. Hey, Hugh. How's my day going? It's going well. Going very well. See you, Bill. Enjoy your evening. I'll probably see you in Landy's stream more than likely. Why do farmers leave straw out in the rain? Because in real life, when the straw is baled, it's the net wrap, and it's usually round bales that get left out in the rain. The net wrap is actually waterproof in real life. So that's comically something that Seasons kind of gets wrong, but it can't differentiate between the different kinds of bales. So I'm gonna give it a free pass on that. But I believe the net wrap in real life is made of plastic, so it's waterproof. Straw bales. I guess because they can. Like, a lot of the time, if you look at farms, you'll see them getting rid of straw bales and selling them off in the winter because they've got too many. Plus, the straw isn't really... It is a bit, but it's not really used for food, it's used for bedding more than anything else. You're about Chris doing a big giveaway? Nope. Nor do I particularly... He's probably giving away his old wheel. Which, good luck with that. Giveaways are a pain in the backside. Round bales are so tight the water can't get in. That, I guess, is another thing, but correct me if I'm wrong with the net wrap, by the way. I think it is made out of a plastic material. Plus, they are baled quite tight, especially straw bales. Hugh, good lord! Hugh O'Malley, thank you so very much for the €20 super chat. You have no idea how amazingly helpful that is. It's kind of acrylic. Oh, that's waterproof. Acrylic's waterproof. Because acrylics are oil-based. Acrylic's also kind of plastic, so yeah, I was actually technically correct about something in real life for once. In FS19, will I spray off grass before I reseed the field? In FS19, I'll probably like plow and cultivate the field and plant and do some weeding, and then after that I'll do herbicide spraying, I guess. Pre-emergent spraying and whatnot. Because I will act as if it's real crops. That was amazingly generous, Hugh. You have no idea how much that helps. Hello, you. So I've just seen you now, so that's why you didn't get hello before. I deserve it. I don't know if I deserve it, but thank you nonetheless. That is... I can't go into detail, but it's not too far off what I've earned so far this month on YouTube. Just as an idea of how terrible ad revenue is. Then again, I've been terrible at playing ads, so I mean, that doesn't help. I'm doing good, Yusa. Thank you very much for asking. Oh, you can see in the way almost feels so. Were they baled? And if so, were they round bales? Because I know square bales are less waterproof. Like they're square bales are more susceptible to the weather, which is well, you'll most commonly see round bales in Ireland because they're kind of naturally more waterproof. Number one, because they're packed so tight, and number two, because the acrylic will help, and the shape as well. I mean, the round shape does help the water just run off. Baled and round bales, yeah. You know, it's. I think the one weakness of Seasons is that round bales are treated the exact same as square bales when it comes to rain and water. We've left in the fields for a couple of weeks now. I'm gonna be with Bucko there. I think it could be that they're worried about fire risk if something does go wrong. They might come in tomorrow, or you know, a couple of days once they've got a couple of good falls of rain on them. Come in and move the bales out. Granted, the bales will have a bit of water weight, but it won't be anywhere near as bad as what Seasons thinks it is with round bales. If you have to hay bale, you rot the bale and it would do nothing. Hay bales are a bit different because they're grass. Grass is a lot more susceptible to just plain rotting. Straw is, I guess, already rotted in a way. Because it's, you know, the dried and dead bit of the grain. Unless you want to, yeah, you don't want to be putting too much manure in one place either for the same reason. There's a history of manure piles spontaneously combusting. Most commonly when you're just starting to lift it for spreading is when the biggest risk is. JWB hit a tractor to catch fire yesterday baling straw. I could imagine that. But one of the most dangerous things on a farm is actually manure for catching fire. It's not the John Deere's. Because manure, what you do, and farming people can correct me if I'm wrong here, feel free. You leave it out for a while to basically rot a bit and ferment. Because it actually introduces new nutrients into it. And during that process, it heats up quite a lot, which is why when you see people carting manure, you never heard of that. It's fairly common, Bucko, that it catches fire and occasionally even explodes. Like you'll see it in like manure carting videos, you'll see what looks to be steam rising. That's actually smoke. Well, that is steam, because the manure is actually really, really hot. Because the fermentation process heats up the manure, which manure is straw. Manure has straw in it, but it's actually the manure itself that causes problems. Because the fermentation process introduces a lot of heat into it, and there's a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but there's a decent bit of methane and flammable gases in manure, or produced by manure, and especially the fermentation process, and it just occasionally the heat gets to such a point that it hits the flash point and boom, manure explosion. Warm is an understatement. It gets really hot. And there is a flashpoint for manure where once it hits that temperature, it will catch fire. That's why manure is notorious for catching fire. It very readily reaches that flashpoint. Hope in FS19 you have to go buy your own ratchet straps. I hope not, but I hope there's a kind of an improvement to the ratchet strap system where you can actually strap down vehicles. Like vehicles and equipment, because in real life you would. And I feel like it's a bit of a missing feature. It's you know, it's great you can strap down bales and pallets and whatnot now, just like you would in real life. But I feel like it's the vehicle side of strapping things down to trailers is missing at the moment. Be rating anyway. That would actually comically cause a few more problems because it would increase the amount of steam, which would actually increase the temperature. The rain is actually a bad thing, Bucko. But yeah, I'd love to see in 19 that you can strap vehicles down, or even just equipment down to trailers. Because it's really annoying right now when you got a, we'll say a shovel or something, or a bucket on a trailer where if you go too fast around a corner it'll just slide off. Yeah, that's something that does need improvement. That was actually, believe it or not, that was kind of intentional, because now that's freed up the bales that I was going to have trouble with. Hedge cutting, that won't be in FS19. Giants I don't think want to have hedges in the game by default. Just gonna shove this bale forward a bit because it's a bit too tight to be trying to turn. There we go. I enjoy the fact, by the way, that I've got currently 58 people watching me stack bales. Pretty much Glengar. It's like playing snooker and just freeing up a few of the reds. Is the way that I'm kind of looking at this. This is not going to go nicely. Okay, strap there. Strap there. So those two bits strapped down nice and safe. Because I knew that would happen. I knew that would ping. That would have been a really big bale explosion if that had actually happened without the straps. Oh, this is awesome. I was watching the Farm Sim Championships. What's really funny is I'm actually stacking well. Like, that's the bit that's amazing me. Like, not that there are so many people watching, although I do find that kind of comical. But that I'm stacking these bales actually surprisingly well, and, you know, it's not all going horribly wrong, which is unique for me. But yeah, like Steve, Mr. Payne and Sons Contractors just said, if you're enjoying the stream, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And, you know, if you're feeling very fat and sassy, you can as well hit the super chat button or the sponsor button, even though the sponsor button's changing its name, by the way. It's going to become the join button soon, which I don't know why YouTube's doing this, but they're doing it, and they're changing the name of the sponsor button already. To, oh good lord, no, that was not the button that I wanted to press. It's so annoying that you can't uninstall them. Well, Bucko, do you like the map? Because if you don't, then uninstalling it is kind of fine. You don't, like, need to keep it. To what? They're changing it to the join button because... reasons, I guess. They want it to be more available to everybody, and apparently sponsor isn't an available word or something. You need to get a PC for FS19. PC, by the way, is the best way to play Farm Sim. I don't say that trying to knock consoles. I say that in terms of you can do whatever you want on PC. Consoles are also a very good way to play the game, but I just... because there's so many more mods and scripts and stuff on PC, it's much more of an open platform. And you can do a lot more. You can do this challenge in its entirety. You can do ridiculous stuff on PC. Glengar, he downloaded a map that got taken off the mod up for inappropriate images. As a console player, yeah, I mean, I'm not even knocking console. I think the console version of the game has come on leaps and bounds, and it's really admirable. The Giants are putting so much effort into that side of things, and modders as well. And I really hope there's some sort of facility in Giants Editor 8, which is going to be the new version for FS19, that allows modders to do kind of a basic console test on their mods to save Giants time. And to save the modders a bit of effort, because right now when you're getting something onto console, it's basically map tennis or mod tennis that you're playing with Giants. That needs to be something brought in. It should have been brought in for 17. I think it's something that was an oversight. It should have been brought in before mods went on consoles, quite honestly. But the simple fact that you can have scripts and, you know, edit your mods to be exactly the way you want them to is why I think, and this is just my own personal opinion, why I think PC is a better way to play Farm Sim, and I would argue the optimal way. Now the old John Deere, you know, you can have John Deere's on your farm, that's out the window now that it's confirmed for FS19. So the new argument is you can have class on your farms, because that is not as of yet confirmed, or well, it's kind of denied, but not 100% for FS19. It may be DLC, we don't know. We'll find out in the future, I guess. When is it class coming to FS19? Going to start soon. I hope they include animations. That'd be nice, yeah. There's a lot they could do still with the Blender exporter. There's a lot they could do with a lot of things. I mean, GE needs, I feel, a lot of optimizations in a lot of areas. Number one among them being the way field defs work, and I think Giants have said that they're changing up field defs for 19, which is good. As far as I'm aware, they haven't said how. My hope is that it's similar to how nav meshes are currently drawn in, because that's just a better system. You can have bizarre shapes like that. And it's lower effort. It lowers the bar for entry. Even though the bar for entry is higher in, you know, many areas, lowering the bar for entry for maps is probably a good idea, because that's, I guess, the gateway drug to modding, because maps are so easy to make. You ask any mapper, they will tell you the same thing. Maps are the easiest mods to make. All they take is time. There's no skill involved. It's all knowledge, and it's all just how long are you willing to spend on this, and how much are you willing to learn and put into put into action. Anybody can make something as good as Lone Oak or the West Coast or Cobra Park Farm or Shamrock Valley or anything like that. Anybody can make maps that good. It's just the time commitment that's needed and the level of knowledge that's needed. There's no skill as such. Hello, Drummer. As my little map making rant, because I actually, it's a nice rant, because it's not negative. It's really not. It's the most positive thing you can really say is like, mapping is the easiest way to get into modding. If you want to get into modding, start editing maps. Just start playing about with your favorite map, and that's the best way to learn. You'll break the map a lot of times, and the more you break it, the better, because you'll learn what doesn't work. What you can't do is just as important as what you can do. Hello, British farmers and the farming man. Are you late? Well, I'm still streaming, so no. And I will say the hardest thing to learn in Giants Editor, the single hardest thing to learn, is how to move the camera. Everything else just expands upon that one basic control. Will Cobra be extended? I think, Adam, it might be shrunk and extended at the same time. I think BulletBill's plan is to do 1-to-1, whereas at the moment it's downscale. It's scaled down. I was talking about money. No, that's negative. That's very negative. I say that I got paid last night, so I'm not actually in the negative money-wise anymore. Minus 40,000 now. Yeah, that's very negative. Moving the camera in Blender. It's actually, Glengar, really annoying swapping between Blender and GE because the camera controls are subtly different. So you go into Blender from GE and you immediately start using the GE controls and wondering why the camera's shooting around in random directions. And then you go into GE from Blender and you wonder the exact same thing. But if you can figure out the camera in Giants Editor, congratulations, you now know how to mod. Because that's the hardest thing for making a map. I can imagine you do. But it is really annoying that the camera controls are just... Isn't it the key you have to hold is different, and that's it? Other than that, the camera controls are identical. And you just press the wrong button and you wonder why the camera just does weird things. Or I think maybe one or two of the axes are different as well. But it's subtle differences like that that really irritate me because I get really confused. Substance Manager is different as well. I hate all these 3D modeling programs, and I will count GE as a 3D modeling program, or 3D programs, I will say, because they all have slightly different controls. Like there's no vast, big, major differences, but they're all slightly different. Starting to make a fresh map, your mind freezes. Start a DEM pane. Steve, DEMs, you don't need to think. Because if you're doing a true-to-life DEM, the only thing you really need to think about is how far do the hedges really need to be from the road? How big of a headland do I really need? How can I make this in Blender? Editing Lone Oak and putting scripts to it. Be very careful that you don't add too many new crops, because the game, as it stands, FS17 is running very close to the crop limit. And if you use... What are the two that cause the biggest problems? Straw add-on and Seasons as well. If you use those two mods in conjunction with Lone Oak, you're very, very close to the crop limit, so don't add too many crops. That's the problem Oxygen David ran into with Oakfield. There were supposed to be even more crops than there were. And Stradon and Seasons started causing corruptions because it hit the crop limit and just wouldn't load. Let's add the hose mod to the West Coast and Charm Fighting It's out. I need to, and I'm going to give Shy a shout out here. I need to watch Shy Wizard's tutorial adding grazing mod to maps because I want to add it to the West Coast. I still haven't, but I need to. And Shy Wizard, for anybody who wants to get into modding and get into map editing, is the person to watch. He is basically a tutorial for any script you want to add. And some that maybe you don't, and you're just interested in seeing how it gets added. Whenever I want to learn something new in GE, I'll go to Shy Wizard's channel, see if he's got a tutorial, because I know he'll explain it in a very simple, very, very easy manner. And usually it's the right way to do it. Maybe I can convince Oxy that hose mod is default. Can add it to for me. British, no, I actually want to make a few other little tweaks to the map as well. Let's destrap these bales. That'll do for now. Grab one at a time because it'll be a bit easier. I make a dem map for 19, just wish you get more mapping that compromise the size of the map and the size of the field. That is always the problem with dems, is you always want to fit more than you actually can. The one thing I will say, Curtis, is wait until the new version of GE is out, wait until 19's out to start making your new map. Because at least then you'll be starting with no problems caused by converting. See you! Conversions tend to cause problems in maps. It's why, well, it's why we think why there are some FPS issues on Sandy Bay, Thornton, Culver, and even the West Coast is a convert. It's one of the reasons we think there are weird FPS issues on those maps is just some conversion artifacts that are kind of invisible in a way. In FS17, I think it'll be even worse in 19, so you're probably best off not converting a map if you're starting one right. Well, you're best off not starting a map right now, basically, because number one, you won't have enough time to finish it in 17, and number two, it's going to be a lot easier for you to just start off from scratch in 19 and learn as you go. Will West Coast be in 19? No. BulletBill's not reconverting anything he's already converted. And the West Coast is in effect, even though it never saw FS15 release, it is an FS15 map. It was started to FS15 standards and had to be converted, so there are some, even though you can't see them, there are bound to be conversion artifacts in the map. Same as Thornton, Sandy Bay, Challengton, Colborough. Any other map that you've seen converted from FS15 up will have these invisible artifacts that may or may not cause problems and seemingly just act as at random, and they tend to be FPS issues. Has Bill already started Cobra 19? I don't know. Starting a 16x map? No, that's a terrible idea. Nobody will play that. 4x is too big as it is. 16x is 4 times bigger than that, and that's just way too big for Farm Sim, frankly. And Stars and Stripes, the one thing you'll find with the 16x is you'll be able to have like no detail whatsoever. Because the more area you put into a map, the less detail you're able to have. You'll see that commonly in 4x's where there's just these huge blank areas where the mapmakers decided to lose detail in those areas to allow for detail in other areas. Default's plenty big, yeah. 2x, perfect. 2x is the perfect blend of like map area and detail. 59 likes, holy crap guys, you've been amazing today. Keep up the good work, guys. I saw you get 54 yesterday, or 58 or something. I've seen so many people asking so many questions that nobody knows the answer to. Yeah. And all we can do is guess. Like 90% of my answers for FS19 are guesswork. Except the 16x map idea. That is a terrible idea. Hello, EJ! How big is Lone Oak? 4x? 2x? All of BulletBill and Oxygen David's maps are standard. The exact same size as Sosnovka, Stancho Lapacha, Hagenstadt back in FS13, Bjornholm back in FS15, Goldcrest Valley. They were all the exact same size. And something that I've learned from seeing those maps and feeling like certain maps are bigger than others is the key to making maps feel big isn't how big the map is. It's how the road system works. Because the West Coast and Lone Oak both feel like 4x maps. They really do. You know, you end up doing a lot of driving on them when you really want to, and the reason behind that is the road system. Because if you look at the West Coast road system, you've got the main road going... You've got the main road going down here, and this is kind of the heart of the map, is off to the left. You want to get to the cows, well, you got to take this road up here. No, yeah, this road up here to here. If you want to get to the pigs from the cows, you take this road over here, which brings you around the right-hand side of the map, and a big loop to the pigs. Well, if you want to get to the sheep from there, well, you take another loop down here. You head over to the sheep. Everything loops together, and it just makes the map feel that bit bigger. 2x is perfect size. It's just a matter of utilizing the space. Lone Oak has the same thing as the West Coast with a really smart road system where the heart road is off to one side. Landy is not live, Landy is live. Emails, give me confirmation one way or another. Emails? Okay, don't need those notifications. Or that one, or that one, or that one, or that one. Landy Kid is live. Landy has just gone live, guys. With Tommy's only just gone live. Yeah, let's pick up another... Let's pick up these two bales over here, stack them up, and then we'll call it a stream. So I hope you guys have been enjoying today. Because I've been having a boatload of fun. This has been a really fun stream, even though it's been 2 hours of me bale stacking. You know, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's been 2 hours of bale stacking, and that's the only thing we've done. You know, sometimes single job streams are necessary, especially with challenge maps. And, as much as they can get boring, you know, if there's a good chat, anything can be interesting with a good chat. It's the way I see things. You can do one job for 4 hours straight if it's a good chat happening, and you guys have been amazing in chat today. I just applaud how amazing chat has been, keeping things going, keeping things interesting, keeping it alive. Because yesterday, days where chat goes silent for like 10 minutes at a time, they're the days where it's really difficult to stream, because the whole point of streaming is to interact with chat, and if chat's not there and not talking, it becomes very, very difficult. Like, the whole reason I stream is so I can chat with you guys while I'm playing some Farm Sim. And I do have plans for videos coming up soon. I say soon, I need to finish scripting it. I need to start recording the clips that I'll need as well. But I do have a big plan in progress, I guess is the best word. For something that's new to me and maybe YouTube as a whole. A new style of doing things that is going to be interesting and probably quite difficult to pull off. But we'll see how that goes. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, hit the like button on your way out, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got a lovely, actually really nice, I'm Genuinely shocked by how nice this bale stack looks. Lovely triangular bales. So these bales are all the same distance away from each other. I've done something perfect for once. Beautifully stacked bales as I exit the building entirely because my yeah, camera was glitching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching the Insanity Challenge on the West Coast in Farming Simulator 17. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.